Mike, the show.
I don't like
Sounds
that
good.
name.
I don't like it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Charlie Mike Show. As always, I'm your host, Raul, and your co-host is William.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Pearland Podcast Studio located just south of Houston, Texas. We're excited to be here.
Always, man. We've been busy.
Man, it's been nuts, bro. But it's been
Yeah.
good. We knew, right? When we talk about it on the show.
I had the vision.
Oh, my God. You did. You had the vision.
Nah,
Now,
I'm
just
just-
imagine this place.
I'm just messing with that. It was our vision, but
Yeah,
it's coming together and it's amazing.
It is. It's amazing. Jelly, appreciate you rolling the controls back there. Want to give her some love.
Yeah. Shout out to Terrence just joining the team as
Yeah,
well.
brother. Got an intern too. It's an amazing thing what happens when you just stay consistent. And hey, I'm excited. So we do got a few guests in the studio today. Man, it's a blessing because the more the word gets out about what it is we do, the more folks actually find us and then start recommending guests to come to the show. And so today we actually have a few brothers from the Marine Corps League joining us. And we're going to get into it. We're going to get into what the Marine Corps League is. But I definitely want to hear some of these old salty dog stories. Let's start with you, Mr. Mark. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Mark Oldmixon. I live over in A-Leaf.
All
As
right.
my daughter's called the Hood.
That's the
Well,
other side of town.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Far southwest.
Yeah. And then we have Mr. John.
James Harvey
James, sorry.
with the Marine Corps League out of Galveston. I live in Galveston County, Santa Fe, Texas.
Santa Fe.
Yeah.
Are you gentlemen originally from Texas?
Yes. Born in
Yes.
Corpus Christi.
Born in Corpus. Okay.
Right. Spine Hospital. Wait.
Santa Fe is my hometown, originally called Arcadia.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I remember.
Now it's Metropolis. Now.
And he's talking about Santa Fe.
Yeah. Metropolis, golly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's funny because I didn't mean to cut you off, but Santa Fe still reminds me of a little country. It's country-ish.
Not anymore since they learned how to sell the property and build subdivisions.
Yeah.
oftentimes one of the things I learned about the Marines is my dad's a Marine as well. And so most of the time your Texas Marines go to the West Coast, correct?
Yes.
I went to Paris Island.
Oh, really?
I had my choice.
Oh, wow.
Recruiter said, you want to go to San Diego or Paris Island? So I ended up at Paris Island.
Oh,
Where the
all
varsity team trained.
right. Yeah. So for those of you listening and you don't know too much about the Marine Corps because you're serving a different branch or you're curious, that's where you have two basic training sites, correct? One on
Correct.
the East Coast, one on the West Coast. Yeah. And then the Army is mostly everywhere,
Yeah, a little bit.
a little bit everywhere.
California, you call us Hollywood Marines.
Yeah.
Paris Island's got sand fleas. We have mountains.
So tell me a little bit about what drove you to choose the Marine Corps, Mr. Mark. Let's start with you.
Originally, I was going to follow my dad's footsteps because he served in the Pacific Navy. So that was my goal when I was little. But back years ago, back in the early 60s, for college football and basketball and all that, they had the Saturday afternoon movie. So one Saturday, we're at the house, living in Galveston, turn on the boob tube. And what was on? The Sands of Iwo Jima with John Wayne and Forrest Whitaker fighting the Japanese across the Pacific. So when I saw that, I was like, sorry, Dad, won't be a jarhead from now on.
And so how long did you do in there?
I was in 4 years. I enlisted in 73. And like I said, went to Paris Island, went to 29 Palms for my MOS school. For those that don't know what MOS is, it's your military occupational specialty. And I was in Red Eye Missile, which was the forerunner to the Stinger missile. If those who remember, the Afghans were using them against the Russian army when they invaded Afghanistan. Shoulder-fired, heat-seeking missile.
So what did you spend most of your time in when you were in the Marine Corps?
Cherry Point, Marine Corps Air Station, Cherry Point, and that was pretty much my duty station.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I
the
have
whole
no
time.
clue where that's at.
North Carolina.
Oh,
I didn't know that. I just repeated it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That sounds like a roll. All right, that's a good deal. What about you, Mr. James?
Pretty much growed up. Most of my uncles were all military. One of my uncles was a Marine, and they always kept telling me how the Marines were the best.
Very
So,
Marine of him.
I graduated high school in 73 and started college. And then just like a calling, went to talk to Marine recruiters, signed up. I was off.
And how long total?
That was in 74. I retired in 2001, 28 years.
Oh, yeah.
Gee.
So you've seen the run, huh?
Seen a little bit.
Just a little bit. Man, that's a very interesting time frame. I feel not only the change to America, but the big call to arms too, and all the folks coming in afterwards. Were you out before or after 9/11?
I was out 1 month before
Wow.
they wouldn't let me back.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine.
I'm actually surprised they didn't try getting you back in.
No, military's got a thing about when you end your service,
Through retirement?
when you meet your extended
Oh, yeah.
stay.
You definitely.
So
some
when
years.
when you're out, there you're out. You have to pry your fingers off the door, but they get you out.
And so during your time in the Marine Corps, where all did you spend?
Basically, I started out in California. I went to Hawaii for a small spell. Came back to Camp Pendleton. Stayed there for about 3 years. Come to Galveston, the reserve center down there. Went to Camp Lejeune for a couple of years. Then I got out, got in reserve, stayed here.
Oh, so you were reserves when you retired out?
Yes, when
Oh,
I
okay.
re-
Okay.
I retired. I
Good deal.
got tired of moving family all over.
I can imagine. I can imagine. And so I got to ask too. So do you guys have any kids that served as well?
My son, excuse me, he was in the Marines. Yeah. He followed in my footstep. He works for Houston Fire Department.
Oh,
When I got
wow.
out of the Corps, I spent 40 years in the fire.
You said 40?
Correct.
You
Jesus.
couldn't get rid of the red and yellow, huh?
No,
Went right back to it.
That's right.
My oldest son joined the Army.
Good man.
So, I don't know.
The verdict's still out.
We pretty much served together in Desert Storm.
Oh, wow.
It was about 10 miles from each other through the whole event. That's the only one.
Yeah, interesting. We've had a father and son serving in the Army. They were both in the Army at the same time. And they were on the show last year. That's a pretty cool memory. I can imagine. And so did your son, Mr. Mark, was he in the same fire department area? So you guys got some good memories along the same line?
When I got out in 77, I went to work for Rosenberg. So I spent the bulk of my career with Rosenberg and Sugarland Fire Departments. And then I finished up the fire marshal's office at the University of Houston. So after he got out, he got on with the fire department. He was with them for close to 10 years.
So I got to know, what's some of the characteristics or what's a trait that you've picked up in the Marines that has really helped you on the other side? I can imagine we talk about it a lot, some of those smaller things, but what are some traits that you learned in the Marine that really set you up for being successful as a firefighter?
Marines and firemen are pretty much the same because they each other's back. We might have our differences in the fire station and be getting close to go to Fifth City, but when the alarm comes in, we leave all that behind and we look out for each other in the fire service. The one difference between the fire service and the military in general is that a fireman, you got to make sure that you're safe before you go in and help somebody else. Where in the military, I'll jump on a grenade to save the team around me, or they'll do the same thing. So it's that split second self-sacrifice, the difference between the military and the fire.
I never thought about that.
No, I mean either. That's, yeah, I see that. You have to make sure yourself is clear before you can save anyone else. It's on the airplane.
Yeah.
Put your own mask on first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the Marine or in the military in general, it's really the mission, right? What we're on and each other first over self sometimes. You see that sacrifice come out a lot. What about you? What have you seen that some of the traits that aren't talked about that has really helped you out on the civilian side?
Basically, the camaraderie between Marine, it's like a family. That basically makes you family orientated. The leadership and self-discipline. Self-discipline is the most important thing. If I was to tell a kid today to go into service, I wouldn't pick any branch, but I'd tell him to go in. So just the things he learns of self-discipline make his life totally enriched.
Yeah.
There's so much content and video out there right now on socials talking just about that. A lot of them are coming from military influencers, but if we can really learn to push ourselves more, and I think that's one of the things I want vets to realize, lean back on that discipline, lean back on treating yourself hard or being hard on yourself. Find a group of other veterans or for you all from Marines that are continue to push you, which is a excellent segue. So why don't you all tell us a little bit about the Marine?
We're just celebrating our 100th anniversary this year. Founded in 1923 by General John Lejeune. Some people say Lejeune. Today, there's approximately 45 to 50,000 members in the league, with about 1,100, I think, or so detachments across the country. Yeah. Carry on the camaraderie of the Marine Corps. Take care of one another, our families, and we also have FMF, Fleet Marine Force, Navy personnel that are in the league as well. We do have associates. Our many detachments have family members that are in their detachment. So like the wives and some of the children or husbands are detachment or associate members.
So what makes it unique then compared to all the other organizations that may be out there?
Like James and I, we can look at each other and just know, being Marines, we don't have to say anything. Is where I could look at a sailor or an airman and they just don't quite get what we're looking at each other or how we feel and stuff like that. James and I could drive from Pearland to Dallas and not really have to say much, but we know how each other feels, what we're thinking without saying a lot. That's one thing about Marine.
I think there's a lot of power in that. So what drew you to the Marine Corps League?
The Marine Corps League, basically, we started the Marine Corps League in Galveston as a support system for the reserve unit, Marine Reserve Unit. Because most of the reserve units are satellite. They don't have base services.
Okay.
So the Marine Corps League, we started it in '88 to support Marines there. 'Cause when a reserve unit gets activated, they go away. And basically, there's nobody left in the rear family. They don't have base services, support, or anything like that. Basically, that's what we do. I've been taking care of Marines my whole life. I retired as a master sergeant. My job was taking care of Marines. And that's why I love the Marine Corps League, because I get to take care of Marines.
So it's almost like a way to continue to your own mission, right? Like you
Right.
said, being able to continue and serve in a different capacity.
That's true.
So you said you started up the chapter down here?
We started in Galveston in 1988. Called it Galveston County Marine Corps League, Detachment 668.
Are there active members as well? Or are there service members that are in uniform within the Marine Corps League?
Yes, there are. Our detachment, we have 40 reservists, 13 active there,
Wow.
members of our.
That's pretty cool. I had no idea.
Yeah, me neither.
I
And
mean, why would I? I was in the Army.
the good thing is the Marine Corps draws people that are Marines. Also, we have a lot of Army, Air Force. A lot of guys get out there and they either join the BFW or the American Legion. The Marine Corps League offers a little bit more, give you a little bit more camaraderie, give you purpose.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah, I like it. I definitely like it. I actually, so what are some of the things that the Marine Corps League offers? I think I've seen y'all do funeral services, correct?
Some detachments do. They
Okay.
do the honor guard for Marines, and I think they've done some for non-Marine veterans that have passed away. They'll do the ceremony at graveside, do the 21 gun salute. A Marine detachment's not there, then they'll fold the flag and next of kin.
Yeah. I actually I witnessed it one time here in locally, and you did an amazing job. Hats off.
And it's like, again, and I imagine it's a way to continue to wear the uniform, show that pride in the Marine Corps as well.
Pretty much, yes. I guess continue to serve. Basically, we use Marines coming in. if it's an associate coming in, we bring them into the fold. It's just they're no different from a regular Marine Corps League member.
Man. So what are some of the similarities? What's something that really stands out that the Marine Corps League has helped with that transition out? Because how long have you guys been members of the Marine Corps League? Obviously, you said the 80th.
I joined in 2007 with the Sergeant James T. Arena Detachment in Katy. So I was one of the charter members of the detachment. So I've been with them since then. And we're always bringing in or asking Marines to come join, be part of the family. I guess the possible problem is that most guys, gals, when they get out of the military, they start their career, they got the family, raise the kids, and do all that stuff. And usually, a veteran service organization is like on behind the back burner.
Yeah.
Depending on what your career is and family and
I mean,
life.
I know it took me a while to get involved with a nonprofit. What about you, Raul?
When I got out, I hung around the VFW a lot, but it was selfish reasons. Yeah, it was cheap beer, so that's where I was at.
Yeah. So how long did it take you to get involved with the Marine Corps League after you got out? Well, I mean, I guess you were
I've never
always
stopped.
involved.
The biggest thing is it gives me an avenue to help, especially the younger Marines that are just getting out. Now that the Marine Corps has a program to put people to work, basically we have meetings where they come in, they help them do basically their resumes. They got problems with schools, we can try and help them in school, scholarships, mentoring. The biggest thing is, especially nowadays with the Marines and servicemen coming out of the service right now, they just come back from a lot of combat, and it's different from World War II, World War I, Korean interpoint. That when they came back slow on a ship, so they were able to just wind down. Whereas nowadays they're not winding down; they're automatically coming back. Yesterday they was in a combat zone. Today they're in free. It gives me an avenue to help them.
It seems like you guys are all pretty connected within the community, not only within the Marine Corps community, but within the nonprofit community. Is that true?
Yeah, it's pretty much true.
And if someone is looking to get in touch with you guys, what would you suggest? What's some way they can do that?
They can just go on a website, look for Marine Corps League. And pretty much in Texas, we have the Texas Marine Corps League. You can just type in Texas Marine Corps League and it will pop up. And there's areas in there where you can look for detachments close to your area. And
So
you can do that on the national site also.
Detachment locator, you type in your zip code and it'll show what detachments are within so many miles of your house. And then you can pick which detachment you want to go join.
So what have you found since discovering the Marine Corps League and joining?
Just like James mentioned earlier, the camaraderie amongst Marines. Marines feel comfortable with other Marines, is where if I'm sitting in a room with a bunch of sailors or soldiers or airmen, it's just not quite the same feeling as it is with sitting amongst Marines.
I think it's your fault, though. I'm just kidding. No, yeah, I definitely understand.
And helping, like James said, reaching out and helping the young Marines that, like you said, combat yesterday and today, I got to find a job and do this and that. You don't have any decompression. And then that's where the problems with substance abuse and alcoholism and just everything just piling up on these young Marines. And GIs in general, just coming home from combat.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Oh, do y'all have physical locations? Like, is it like there's areas, similar to a VFW or an American Legion? They have
T Arena Detachment. We meet in Katy.
Okay.
And we meet at the Katy Funeral Home.
Okay.
Off of Kingsland Boulevard, off of 99. Business is always dead, so that's why we
got it. Play that music, bro.
But and some detachments they meet at the local VFW hall or other locations or the Elks Lodge, places like that. I think one of the detachments meet one of the restaurants here in Pearland. Yeah, that's where they meet every month.
What are some of the other things that the Marine Corps League does? We're all brought up the funeral detachment and stuff like that, but what are some other things that people can see the Marine Corps League leading? Or I know you guys have a couple of different operations that y'all do.
Basically, we do a lot of fundraising, and the fundraising goes to our helping our Marines. Like in Galveston, we have family support funding, educational funding, not just for the Marines coming off of duty now, for the Marines that are in the past, 40, 50 years ago. They're having problems with getting their kids into college. We have access to them. We give them scholarships. The Marine Corps League has 3 or 4 different scholarships to apply for. And basically, you have to be a Marine to apply for it. We have associates that come in. They might have served in the Army, or their mother or father might have been Marines, and they just want to feel that closeness.
Yeah.
Their parents have passed away, and they knew how they were strong. They'll join the Marine Corps League as an associate, and we bring them on. They pretty much have just about everything that we do. But the support is trying to help those that are out there that need help.
That's amazing. I love that y'all continue to give back even after you serve. Service after service.
Yeah, he's coming back, bro.
Yeah.
He's coming back. So what? I had a good question too.
You're welcome.
No, I was kind of thinking along the lines of I got.
Okay.
Another big program that the Marine Corps League is well entrenched in is the Toys for Tots
Yeah.
campaign.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Saved you on that one.
That was
Okay,
over.
yeah,
That's
Toys for
exactly where I was
Tots.
headed.
That's a
Yeah.
big one. I know.
And it was founded in 1947. I have to use my cheat sheet. By Major Bill Hendricks in California. And his wife had made a bunch of Raggedy Ann dolls and didn't know who to give them to. So he got with the members in his reserve unit, and they volunteered to help collect toys. And Toys for Tots was founded. And through the years, they've collected over 500 million toys that they've distributed to children throughout the years. And then I think it's in 2008, the league is starting a literacy program where we're collecting books. At some point, G.I. Joe and Barbie just doesn't have the same meaning as it used to. We're collecting books for the little bit older children to work on their literacy, to read and improve themselves that way. Collecting books as well.
Is that a common problem in the Marine Corps? Literacy?
Literacy? No, not anymore. Actually,
Come on. I was trying to figure out a way to get at least one in.
the Marine Corps is better at that than the rest of the branches. We were one of the first ones that stopped. You got to have a high school diploma.
I do imagine you guys have very high standards.
Yeah, dude. That's one thing. I'll say this about the Marine Corps is y'all's discipline in the Marine Corps hasn't changed. I've seen a lot of other branches, their discipline go up and down as far as recruits, but I think y'all stay pretty consistent.
I've been out since 77, and even today, I still dress. When I have to dress, I make sure my pants and shirts are pressed. I still ace my shoes left over. I keep my military alignment.
I do that.
When
Gig
I was-
line.
The
When I
gig
was-
line. Oh,
yeah,
man, I
gig-
know.
When I was working at University of Houston, I would walk down the hallway in our office, and I'd either be calling cadence, marching down the hallway back to my cube, stuff like that, or if I was out and about, things like that. And with my granddaughter, I'll get in her face, Victoria, stuff like that. So,
Good thing about the Marine Corps is they're entrenched in history. And the Marine Corps likes to bring their history with them. Basically, Marines know when it started, how it started. We talk about people with drinking problems. The Marine Corps kind of get away from that. But we started in a bar.
we did.
What do you
That's right.
expect?
Ton Tavern.
But that's a good thing. We bring our tradition, and you don't forget the past, and you're setting yourself for a good future.
I love that. Yep. Y'all notice our wall is Marine Corps.
Or
Thank you.
fire engine red. depending
Yeah,
on
Fire
which
engine
way you
red.
look.
But every year I was working a football game with the University of Houston one night, and one of the pyrotechnic guys was a Marine. And this was November the 10th during the game. We didn't have a cake, so one of the girls ran downstairs and brought up 2 pieces of pie. I was the older and he was the younger Marine, so we had our Marine Corps apple pie on Marine Corps birthday. Marines carry on that tradition, cutting the cake. The oldest Marine takes a bite, passes it to the youngest Marine, James said, carrying on the tradition of the Corps.
I'll tell you a crazy, funny story that I always remember. When we were deployed to Iraq, we were attached to a Marine unit. And during the Marine Corps birthday was the only time I actually saw, it's not the only time I saw alcohol, but it's the only time that alcohol was allowed. and each Marine got, I think the limit was 2 beers, but to celebrate the Marine Corps birthday. I had never seen anything like that before. Wow. Yeah.
Is it a real thing?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
active or former Marine. Houston has basically 3 Marine Corps birthday balls every year. Just about every Marine Corps detachment has them. The Marine Corps League detachment have them. It's just part of our pride.
During COVID, the Marine Corps Coordinating Council was the
We're
only
the only one that have 'em.
Marine Corps birthday ball across the whole country. And we had people coming in from all over the country, not just
Wow.
Marines, but Army, Navy, Air Force. They wanted to experience the Marine Corps birthday.
Yeah.
And
That's
the
how
amazing
we-
thing is we never had anybody get sick.
Hey.
Yeah. They,
Thrown in the brig.
yeah. Jesus. Nah, that's awesome. That's one thing I love about the Marine Corps, man, is that they celebrate that birthday and they do it big. And the Army Navy game, who do y'all go for?
Navy, of course.
Why is that?
Navy's the Uber department for the Marine Corps League, for the Marine Corps.
I just like hearing it, so I had to ask.
You gotta get it right somehow.
They're our
Yeah.
taxi cab.
Yeah.
Except in World War II, the Navy would get us close and the Coast Guard would take us.
There you go. Okay.
I like those facts.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yep. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, the Marines always have a special place in my heart. Again, my dad's a Marine. He was in the Corps when I was born. And then I always remember celebrating the Marine Corps birthday, always having to text him on his birthday. And of course, I joined him.
Yeah. So you text him 2 birthdays? One for his real birthday?
He only
and
gets
then-
one birthday, and that's November 10th.
November 10th. That's
Right.
That's it. You only get one birthday.
I've been to sporting events, football, baseball games, and usually some games they'll play Army song, the Navy song, the Air Force song. But when they play the Marines hymn, you'll see all these Marines snap to attention while they play the Marines hymn, while all the other branches just sit there.
That's why you
We
gotta,
snap too when the Marines hymn is,
yeah.
regardless of where we are.
That's why at the last ball that I was a part of, I made sure the Marine Corps hymn came first and the Army went first. Because they'll let you know.
No, the Marines, if you don't know there's a Marine in the room, wait 10 seconds. He'll let you know. Yeah.
There is another Marine in the room, though, so let's go ahead and bring him up, Mr. Charles. I really appreciate you, Mark. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
You don't both have to go. Whoever wants to continue to stay and harass us is more than welcome to. We do have a third Marine here. We're definitely surrounded, and we've got their PR here, too, so make sure you say the right things. But don't do that.
Look pretty well covered here.
Oh, yeah. Good. No, I want to hear. I'd like to hear.
Nothing left for me.
Oh, no, of course.
Oh, y'all are in trouble now.
Oh,
I've
Lord, here we
joined.
go.
Here we go.
Oh, actually, we could switch out Mr. Mark. I mean, Mr. John. James. I'm going to get one of these names right, I promise. James.
Yeah, we need a sound guy over here. I want everyone to hear me.
Yeah.
Here,
Let's
sit here.
Thanks, guys.
I don't mind.
This has been a lot of fun.
He doesn't have to put them on.
No,
You're
we're-
fine. You don't have to if you don't want.
Oh, I
It's up
did.
to you.
Are we still recording?
Yeah, it's okay. We'll
We're
roll it out.
Oh, okay. Because I like hearing myself.
Yeah, go ahead. Put them on.
I'm used to headphones. So that way I know what I sound like. Okay.
All right.
All right. Now for the real fun to begin.
You got that? I'm here. Let the party begin.
We've got Miss Tina and Mr. Charles here. Why don't you please go ahead and introduce yourself, Mr. Charles? Wait, I'm sorry, ladies first. Mr. Tina,
Aw.
What was that?
He said ladies
But-
first, and he looked at you.
Yes, I was wondering about that.
No, I'm Tina Lockhart. I'm with the Marine Corps. I am the public affairs officer for the state. I'm having a great time.
Good, I'm glad.
Thank you for having us today.
No, we're really happy you guys reached out to us and let us know your interest. I think there's a lot of things that we can learn, especially not just about the Marine Corps, but the Marine Corps League, the transitions out, keeping that camaraderie for as long as you can. Obviously, you guys seem like you're full of life. And so we're
We're
really happy
full
to
of
have
it,
you.
all right, aren't we?
All right, Mr. Charles, please introduce yourself.
My name is Charles Inman, past state commandant
Okay.
for the Marine Corps League. But probably I'm the oldest Marine here. That's the thing that I just realized. But I went through the ranks of the Marine Corps League and became Department or State Commandant. But prior to that, I was in the Marine Corps for 4 years.
All right.
And the unusual story is that I was in a seminary studying to be a priest. And
What
now
a
this
turn!
is
What
a
a
yeah,
turn!
for
That's the
real.
usual story.
So anyway, I went down with a friend of mine to the recruiter to inspire him about joining the Navy. I had known him since we were 4 years old. In some old times. He went ahead and went in there to see the recruiter, and I was just standing outside, just like I was doing here, waiting. And the Marine came up to me and said, "Have you ever thought about joining the Marine Corps?" And it's spectacular to see a dress blues. It's the finest uniform, I think, that is in the existence for any of the military. My friend did not join the Navy, and I joined the Marine Corps that day. And so
Gotcha.
got me.
Yeah.
So here I was, a seminarian, and I went home, and my dad had been on Tinian during the war when I was born in 1944. And he just told me, "You don't know what you did." That's all he said to me. And I realized it after I was in the Marine Corps. But my mother just wept from that point on. There was no war going on at that time. So when I joined, it wasn't Vietnam or anything like that. And I landed up with the first Marines to land in Vietnam. And I hate to go ahead and say 1965, but that's the year that landed. And came down the landing nets and did all the things that I saw on television. But before that, when I was in boot camp, I don't know whether you're familiar with the Gomer Pyle show.
Yeah.
But our platoon was the platoon in Gomer Pyle, and
Wow.
our 11th week inspection was done by Sergeant Carter. So we truly are Hollywood Marines. is
Oh,
what
yeah.
we do.
Wait, like literally, y'all were in.
Yes,
The
you
show.
remember that platoon that came into the archway and during the show? That was platoon 318. That was my platoon in boot.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That is
That's a real Hollywood Marine.
Yeah, I
That's
see
a
that. That's what. Is that
Heard
where
that.
the term came from?
that name.
Part of, if you were on the West Coast, that was all. They were considered Hollywood. The people that went on the East Coast, they were, I don't know what they considered them, but we were truly the Hollywood Marines.
That's awesome. I love that story. Yeah.
And Miss Tina, where did you spend your time? Are you from Texas originally?
I was born in Houston, Texas.
Wow.
I go out of state and I'll say, "Hi, I'm Tina from Texas," and they go, "No kidding." We figured that one.
You hear it.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, it's good. That's a good thing.
I agree.
And how long did you spend in the Marine Corps?
I have not been in the Marine
Okay.
Corps. I am in the Marine Corps League, though, as an
Alright.
associate member.
That's so cool.
It is awesome. I wanted to help the Marines. I did not serve. And I thought, what better way can I honor the Marines or any branch, really, because we honor all. But what can I do to give back? And I asked to be in the League so that I can go forward and honor all branches, but I do favor the Marines. I am dating one, evidently, and he's near. It's got to be good. No.
Who looks sad? Which one are you?
Who's the sad one over
Yeah,
there? No, we've been together for almost 2 years.
That's fascinating.
But through him, I did learn about the Marine Corps, and I went, what a way to give back. So when I joined the Marine Corps, I asked, what can I do? And one of the things I wanted to do was go into the schools and teach patriotism and Americanism. And that's what I'm doing now. And I do get American flags and pass them out to those that need their flags restored. I try to do that as well. The more I did, the more I got to know everybody and all the detachments, or most of the detachments. Everyone works so hard for the good of the Corps. They really are proud of what they do. They're out there doing fundraisers and collecting money, not to keep, but to give,
Right.
in different ways in different organizations. So I'm very proud of the Marine Corps League. And Charles here, he's with the league that's been here from the beginning.
Not too much
Almost.
beginning. We got things to talk about from the No, we are now our detachment, and I'm personally a member of this detachment. And I was a detachment commandant on 2 occasions. Is just celebrated 100 years.
Wow.
There's only 2 detachments in the United States that have gone to 100 years, and that's one in New York and one here in Texas, which is the Macklemore Detachment. So we're celebrating right now 100 years. We have also asked the national organization to give us our original charter back, which was charter number 4. So we're getting ready to get that charter. So if you mentioned that from the beginning, that is when the Marine Corps League started. And this was a original detachment here in Texas, which is a great honor for the Department of
That is pretty fascinating.
That is.
Tell me more about running the state of Texas as a detachment. How many are within the state? What was that like being the big guy?
the big guy here comes. We're all big guys because we work hard, keep this Marine Corps League going. But I remember coming the first time that I ever came to a meeting, and before I knew it, they said, you should be an officer and all this. And so I said, I'll go and help out. Before you know it, you're moving up through the ranks and became detachment commandant. And then the district vice. We had three units in there. Now there's 9. And I started about 4 detachments, including Tiarina Detachment, which is the one Mark was talking about before. But there's a total of about 50 detachments always on there. When we get somebody complaining about something in one detachment, we always say, how would you like to multiply it by 50? Which is where a detachment commandant sees then the department commandant running a lot bigger operation. You do have staff that take care of every committees and things like that. But it was an unusual and enjoyable job. Even to today that I did this through 2017, I still get requested to go in and install officers and get to see the people that you worked with in the past and stuff like that. It's very good. And you get to travel around the state. But it's a hard job, I would say, because it's just like in the Marine Corps, they said it's like herding cats.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is very similar. Everybody's very strong-headed. The Marines, can you imagine A personalities, and you have a group of A personalities? That's what you have right there.
I
Leadership.
lived with one. I'm good.
You live with your dad.
I grew up with one. I'm all right.
Oh.
That's my.
It's an interesting, and I wouldn't have traded it for anything in the world. But these are great guys, and the ones that can stay on target and on mission are very special people. So you have all this Marine Corps that you can choose from or that choose to go into the Marine Corps League. The Marine Corps League's got the best, I think, the cream of the crop, the best workers. And then out of that group, we have the Devil Dogs. The Devil Dogs are by invitation only. And so if you get invited to be in the Devil Dog, then you're taken to another level. You may see some of these ribbons that are across or collars.
Yeah.
This is a pedigree collar. We call everything dogs, some kind of dog language, which I saw that one of my friends here coming up to you. But the pedigree is the highest one, and you can start when you come in as a mongrel and as a pup, and then as a devil dog, and then as a pedigree. And those are the people who are the movers and shakers, the ones that you can always count on to be there when you need them. That's a quick overview of it.
Cool.
But
A lot of layers to that, huh?
and that's it. You work your way through the system. The national is a grouping of all of the states. We're in a division here that is the Southern Division. And of course, Texas is the largest. Arkansas and Oklahoma are also part of it, but they don't have as many detachments. But I feel especially good this month because of that 100th anniversary of Macklemore Detachment.
Along with the league's 100 years.
And the
Wow.
league, of course,
hmm
if Macklemore was there longer, the league had started at 100 years ago.
So we're celebrating both October 7th in Irving, Texas. We're going to celebrate I'm hoping to get a lot of cake out of this, actually.
I heard cake.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's always cake, isn't it?
The pie sounded good earlier, too, but I do
Real.
like my birthday. But I am an associate member. I did want to say thank you to all those associate members because we get together and we do help with the fundraisers, along with what's called regular members, those that did serve. We did not serve, but we're honored to help today. And the associate members really do work hard to make the good of the league known. We're
The
out
good of the
there.
league.
Yes, the good of the league.
Oh, can you expand more on the magazine that y'all have?
Oh, Charles, you could probably do that. Which one are you talking about?
Yeah, the Semper magazine.
Oh, Semper Fi magazine. That's the magazine for the Marine Corps League. The Marine Corps also has Leatherneck magazine. You're probably aware of the magazine. Of course, this one is specifically for Marine Corps League, and they put pictures and articles and things like that about what we're doing. Macklemore presented the colors for the World Series this last year. That was a real special thing that went all over. So things like that are,
And it was right here.
Yeah,
and
right.
it was here. Well,
Yeah.
and it may be. We hope it's going to be here
That's
again.
right.
It
Bring it
will
back.
be here again.
They put a whooping on them boys in the past week. Sorry, we don't want to get too far into that.
We are proud of every detachment in Texas, and every detachment in Texas does do their part in supporting the league and making it known very well in all the programs we do. Everybody works very hard together as a family. I'm Texas proud, but as a nation, we
love
do.
hearing
But as a nation, we pull together as well, like he was saying, Toys for Tots and other programs. But Texas proud, very proud of our Texas detachments doing so well together.
We're not Marine Corps, but we are a veteran-owned company. And when Toys for Tots comes, if you guys would like to use this place as a location, we'd love it.
That's nice.
Yeah,
It's good.
We'll let them know.
Yes,
We'll always find ways to help promote. We love that stuff.
Well, one of the things I wanted to mention is in the Marine Corps League, and this is something that my friends really covered a lot of things on there, but the most important part of the Marine Corps League is the detachment. Whenever we install officers or Marine Corps League detachment commandants, we go over that. Every time that I install officers on there, I remind them about how important the detachment is. Without the detachment, and this is in our installation, without the detachment, we do not have any other form. We don't have national. We don't have the Texas Department or anything. So we have to always maintain that the detachment and the regular Marine is the best that we've got and most important.
The strength of the platoon and the squads. I love
You
that.
got it. You were
And they're-
raised right.
Yeah. You know, I
We
mean,
are
a
a
team,
family.
even a team that can't really do a whole lot of movement. It has to be squad size
That's right.
movement. Love that. What do you guys have coming up? You mentioned Toys for Tots, and that's closer to the end of the year, but I know you have something else that you have coming up.
This is so important. I know you've talked about it before, but all over the world, Marines celebrate November 10th for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
We get out and howl at the moon, and we do some strange things. As you get older, you don't do as strange things. Your wife doesn't let you. The thing is that we still celebrate this. I remember when I was in Vietnam, we didn't sometimes have all the materials we needed, food, food and clothing and stuff. But we always had a cake on the Marine Corps birthday. And that helicopter would come down and set that right in front of us, cut it with a bayonet sometimes, but we always had a, and that's the tradition.
Powerful.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's powerful stuff. bro.
Wow.
I'm ready to celebrate.
Yeah.
So I do see a picture here of the
Taps.
tapestry. Yes.
Boy, what an unusual find. I did the research with another gentleman, another Marine, and we discovered that we had a 100-year-old attachment. We started looking for things. We found in Leatherneck magazine an article in 1923 that stipulated that we were there beginning of the Marine Corps League. This tapestry that you're talking about was made 100 years ago, and it belonged to or was kept by a reserve unit here in Houston for all this 100 years, and it was just presented back to us. So that's what you're looking at, and it stipulates 1923. Now, right now, the detachment, there was 2 fires. Luckily, some of the things that we located and things weren't burned. So the Marine Corps League issued a temporary, because now we changed it to Charter number 4. But there was a charter that was issued to us, which is a lot sooner. It was done in 1990. But it doesn't reflect the fact that it was, or that the detachment was as old as
One of the
it is.
first. Wow. That's really cool. There's a lot of history there. That's so really. All right. To wrap this up, my favorite question to ask, and it's just fitting because you are the oldest Marine in the room. Charlie
Please.
Mike means continue mission. What does that term Charlie Mike mean?
I believe that once you become a Marine, and this is something that I will share with you, that it is the most religious and caring operation of all the services. We love each other, and we love each other forever. And love has a lot to do with it. Everything that we do is about love. So the Marine Corps League carries that on. As a Marine, and I've done many funeral services, families have said he was always a Marine, and it might be a 92-year-old that never left it. It's what you had talked about before, about the dedication. So what you're saying, continue the mission, that's what we want to do, is continue the mission always. That's in every Marine. Run across, if I have, I didn't know it. I haven't run across any Marine that thinks otherwise.
I thank you for that, and I really appreciate your time. And for you guys off screen, I really appreciate y'all's time. Miss Tina, would you tell us how can we get in touch with you all?
Sure. txmcl.org. That will lead you to the Texas website. And so please do that, and you can learn more through that website. And you can also, like they said, look up your local detachments through the same site, possibly. And if you cannot find a website or a location, there's somebody on the website, our webmaster. There's a link there where you can talk to him, and he'll lead you.
Thank you.
That's amazing. We want to say, again, thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate you guys and hearing the story. You young men, it's been an honor. What we want to do is be sure to like, share, subscribe. Be sure to follow us on social medias. Be sure to follow my man William on all his social media platforms at Mustache Wisdom. See, he's got a nice
I
mustache
wonder
on
how
him.
I got
doesn't
that names.
he?
Yes.
As always, you guys, we want to say thank you for tuning in. And Charlie, Mike,